she has a trash bag with her. And she's like, that's actually a chemical, so we need a special bag for that. So I had to wait till everyone got off the plane, and I'm sitting like maybe on row 10. So everyone from row 11 to 30 is just walking by, watching me hold these 2 bags of puke up. And finally they give me the trash bag. I throw out the 2 bags of puke, and I am in rough shape. I need some water bad. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm still drunk, and I'm sick, and I'm like, this was the worst idea ever. Never got drunk in the airport ever again. But I get to Austin, and I go get water from this machine, and the water that comes out is canned water. And I'm like, the first time I've ever seen canned water. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. I don't, whatever. I start drinking it. I crack it open, right? I crack it open. I start drinking it. And the taste of the aluminum was so strong that I just puked again right then and there in front of the vending machine. And so 3 times into the can of water. So at this point I can't get water, right? And then I walk out. My girlfriend at the time is picking me up from the airport, and I hadn't seen her in a month. I had been in Puerto Rico eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I gained like 40 pounds. It was the heaviest I've ever been. I had gotten these huge, let's just call them rapist-style glasses, right? The Jeffrey Dahmers, huge, right? So they weren't. I wasn't looking so appealing, right? I came around with a beer belly and like just right skinny fat, just completely out of shape and disgusting. Plus, I'm hammered. I stink like alcohol. And the first thing I say to her is, "Take me to a Denny's." And that is my story about getting hammered on the plane. All right. So episode 21, Joe Sasto. Please enjoy. Next week I got Chef Nico Pena of Octavia restaurant in SF. I actually did these 2 interviews the same day. So next week you'll get to hear Nico talk about his trajectory through San Francisco kitchens. So everyone enjoy the week. Remember, when you're listening to Sucio Talk, put that on your social media. Let everybody know what's up. All right? Peace. All right.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Sucio Talk, episode 21. Savage. We got my man, Chef Joe Sasto in the house. Chef, what's up?
What's going on? How are you?
Doing? I'm well. Thanks for having me. Nice to finally get to talk to you a little bit, because last time I saw you were at the Charter Oak.
That was a long time ago.
I know, right?
We had been talking about doing this podcast for a very long time.
For a very long time.
I'm glad we didn't do it virtually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, we almost did, and then we were like, you know what? Let's wait.
Let's wait.
Let's talk face to face.
We're masked up right now the sake of placing a sense of time and place.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't know when you're going to listen to this. So we're sitting here 6 feet apart wearing masks. So definitely a unique time, I could say.
Yeah, for sure. So, Chef, here at Sucio Talk, we're going to take it all the way back to when you were a little niño. All right? So, where'd you grow up?
Starting way back. So I was born in New York City.
Okay.
I feel like I was only there for a couple of years, because that's all I remember. I was there till I was 6.
Okay.
So it feels like when I think about it, I was like, 3 years. But I guess 3 years is what I really remember.
Yeah.
And the rest is kind of like photographs and things. But my family, after my dad retired, moved to Vegas.
Okay.
If you're not familiar, Nevada has no state income tax.
Uh-huh.
So that was a great place to retire. At the time, it was up and coming.
Uh-huh.
It was like a family-oriented town. Obviously, Las Vegas has gone through many different iterations. Yeah. At one point, it was like family-focused. Then they kind of went to like the poker, World Series of Poker age.
Very true.
I think now they're in kind of like the DJ, nightclub, day club,
EDM,
pool party,
electric
EDM
music.
scene. I don't know what it'll be, by the time life moves on, but At the time, it was a unique place to grow up, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I spent elementary, middle, high school.
Okay.
I guess a lot of my formative years, you could say.
Going back to New York, were you, what borough?
I was born in Flushing. We had a house in Queens.
Okay. Did you, do you have any memories from when
Very
you were young?
little.
Very little.
Like, I knew we were near the airport because I remember planes flying over. I remember Concords. Remember those things?
Yeah.
Like, super loud, go across the country in 2 hours or something wild.
Wow.
But those obviously don't exist anymore.
Jesus.
But I remember that. I remember some snow.
Yeah.
That was my only experience of ever living somewhere where it snowed.
Okay, so you never lived anywhere cold after that?
Never.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. So when you moved to Vegas, you said your dad retired. What did he retire from?
My dad retired. He had worked in the Long Island Correctional Department.
Yeah. There's a big culture of that in the Northeast.
Yes.
My mother's a correctional officer in Connecticut, so respect.
Yep. So he did that and then retired and took the family out west.
Got you. Was he planning on opening any other businesses? Or
no, he stayed kind of in the public service sector. He was a bailiff for a while we grew up.
Heard that.
He did private security for hotels and casinos, things like that.
Gotcha.
And so he was always kind of in that, protect.
Yeah. Was it hard growing up under that? Protective?
I didn't realize necessarily till maybe I got older.
Okay.
And then was more exposed to other people, other things. You don't realize, or at least I didn't realize, growing up in Vegas, how different Las Vegas was.
Yeah.
Than a lot of other people. And then when I moved to Northern California for college, I was kind of introduced into a whole different group of people, world of people. And it was very mind-opening in that sense. And I had no idea how maybe closed off I was living in a city like that, even though it's a huge city.
Yeah.
And then I moved to this small little city. I went to UC Davis, so it was like a tiny little college town. But it seemed so much more open and different than anything I had seen before.
Gotcha. And then you said your dad retired. Was your mom still working?
My mom didn't work the whole time we were growing up until maybe, I don't know, high school. She kind of, she loved teaching.
Okay.
And so she went back to teaching and was a teacher. And so started as a substitute teacher, but then loved it so much.
Yeah.
Went into teaching full time. And so,
very cool.
She schooled my brothers and I in addition to public school.
All right.
So she was very, hands-on.
Yeah.
With learning, with projects, with writing,
That's
with reading, and kind of very much nurturing in that sense.
And, you're living in Las Vegas. Were you guys hanging out at the Strip? Or, what is, I don't know.
That is the most common question. When you tell someone, I haven't heard that question in so long because I rarely talk about Vegas.
Yeah.
But literally, when I was meeting people for the first time, they're like, "Oh, you're from Vegas? Your parents must work in a hotel. Do you live on the Strip? How often are you down there?" No, Vegas is a huge city. I think of it like LA or Chicago. It's very spread out. It maybe the freeways then were very well connected and not congested at all. You could go from this small little suburb we lived in and get to the Strip in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it didn't at all feel like you were part of the Strip or living on.
Or you had to go there.
No.
Okay. Got you.
No.
So what are some activities in Las Vegas as a child that, don't have to do with that kind of thing?
A lot of what we did kind of still, the entertainment was in the casinos.
Okay.
So I remember being young, places like the Excalibur, the Luxor, the MGM were all very family child focused. Excalibur had free shows with knights and dragons and fire breathing and jugglers and kind of in that vein. MGM was Wizard of Oz focused at the time. So they had a Yellow Brick Road and Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Lion. Luxor was, the whole Egyptian vibe. And kind of so it was very entertaining and a lot of free entertainment in that sense. Or you could get passes to the buffet or, food was a very big focus for us. So it's we're going to the Strip. Let's go to a buffet. That was a big thing and a big deal. And it would take our whole day. Spend the whole day.
There's nothing better than a buffet in Las Vegas.
It is. I didn't realize how much of a Vegas iconic thing it was.
Oh, man.
But it's very much just Vegas. You don't go to buffets in California.
Not really. No.
Not really, right?
Well, I'm thinking though, food industry, we need to bring the buffet back.
I think the buffet's gotten such a bad rap because it's hard to do well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like Vegas has the infrastructure to do that, and they have so many people eating, so the food's constantly coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's a lot of little gears and cogs that it takes to make a buffet worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so like I think the way Vegas comes together makes that happen.
For sure. So, food was a big part of your life. You guys going out to eat? Are you guys eating at home? You guys cooking at home?
Oh yeah. Like food was everything. And that was all on my mom.
Okay.
So like maybe growing up we weren't like, we were definitely by no means wealthy. So food became the thing my mom and my parents would use to kind of entertain my brothers and I.
Heard that.
And so like whether it be her cooking or just picking up like a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, unpackaging it, plating it, making it all like, food was the center of our family life.
Yeah.
And back then it wasn't like cell phones, but turn off the TV, everybody around the table, just about every night of the week. And even if it wasn't just the family, friends were over, or neighbors were over, and it was very much kind of this thing that brought us all together. So I learned very early on, the power of food and how it can affect people, how it touch people, how it could create memories, how it could evoke memories, and all of these things that I, unbeknownst, fell in love with and would shape and form my journey for the rest of my life.
Gotcha. Did you think you were ever going to do anything else before? Like,
at one point, I know I have always been in love with the idea of hospitality.
Okay.
Because prior to knowing I wanted to cook, I wanted to be, when I was like, this is like when I was a kid. I'm like, what do you want to be, a firefighter or an astronaut? I want to be a hotel owner. So I wanted to be able to welcome people into a place and take care of them and provide for them. And I loved the idea of hotels as a kid. And I was like, oh my God, it's special occasions, so great. And so that was something very, very early on when I was very young. I was like, oh yeah, what a great thing. I want to be a hotel owner. But now thinking back on it, that was just kind of like the early signs of how much I cared. Yeah. And was passionate about hospitality. For sure. Which now being a chef, that is like the biggest thing that we do.
Yeah. Apart from the food, hell yeah. That's something that matters. So when did you pursue this? When did you?
So I had always been cooking early on with my mom. She had me in the kitchen. There are photos of me cooking at her side at like one of those little Tykes tables, mixing together like flour and water. Not making anything, just making a mess.
Got you.
And she would be preparing dinner. And then kind of as I got older, I would be cooking with her in the kitchen. I would help out. I'd always want to be around food, whether it's a holiday, Sunday, any night of the week. I was just kind of attracted to it. Where other kids were maybe outside playing sports or watching cartoons. I was like watching the early days of Food Network. And so it was like something I was just
drawn to.
I was, mesmerized by it. And so in high school, I had played with the idea of wanting to go to culinary school. Okay. And that's what I wanted to do. Because I was like, oh, you want to be a chef? You want to go to culinary school. And at the time, being a chef was not necessarily the most viable career path. No. And it was like almost seen as kind of like this underbelly behind the curtain of the hospitality industry. And my parents being very old school and kind of maybe not necessarily closed-minded, but just wanted to make sure I had options. Yeah. We're like, oh, maybe it's not what you think. Maybe you just like cooking, but you don't actually want to work in a restaurant sort of thing. So go to a university, get a degree. And that way you have something to fall back on, which is like kind of funny and ironic, I guess now, because it's like so many people are like, degrees are worth nothing.
And they're falling back on cooking.
People are falling back on cooking. Which is so funny that that's the way things have, turned around. But so that's what I did. I skipped culinary school, went to UC Davis. I got my bachelor's degree. And I'm so, even with student loan debts, I'm thankful and happy I did that path. For sure. Because there's so many things I learned, about, managing teams and communicating with people and just life experiences. That I got there that I wouldn't, trade or exchange for anything else.
Your kid is so nice.
Yeah. He's very friendly.
So where did you go to college?
I went to UC Davis. Okay, so that's UC Northern Davis. California. Davis is like a small college town. I want to say it's only maybe like
a lot of farm business over there.
It's surrounded by farms. It's one little town surrounded by farms. You're maybe 30 minutes from Sacramento. And the only people who live there essentially are the students, the professors, and like a handful of like old timers that have